Oh. Hey, it's Shay here and welcome back to my channel, you guys. If you're new here, this channel is all about motherhood, lifestyle, and beauty. So if that's something that you might be interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. So let's get right into it. Today's video is all about breastfeeding and pumping and what I've learned over the last 5 months of being a breastfeeding mom, some tips that I wish I knew earlier on, and I hope you guys find this video helpful. This is my baby boy TJ. He is 5 months old. And of course, he is a breastfed baby. He is exclusively breastfed. We just started solids maybe a month ago, so I do feed him baby food once or twice a day. And I don't buy baby food, I just make it myself. So if you guys would like me to make a video on how I make my baby food, comment down below. So I'm a first-time mom, and I know that there are plenty of first-time moms who are breastfeeding and really have a lot of questions. Just to put that out there, I am not a lactation consultant. I am not a professional. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. So just to give you guys a little bit of a background on my breastfeeding journey, I never really had problems from the beginning in terms of, creating milk. My body just did what it was supposed to do. I didn't have any trouble with my milk supply. In the beginning, I had a lot of milk. I will insert pictures of, the amount of milk that I was able to pump. Now, fast forward to when my baby was about maybe 3 months or so, 3.5 months or something like that. We decided to give him 2 bottles a day. So we started off with just 1 bottle a day, just so we know, just so he can, get used to a bottle, not always, need to be on my breast. So then we switched to 2 bottles a day, and that kind of affected me and my breast supply, my breast milk supply, only because you're supposed to pump when you give your baby a bottle so that your body continues, to create that milk. And I was pumping, you guys, I had a full stash in my freezer, and it just kept dwindling and dwindling because I wasn't pumping. I would pump maybe once a day, if that. Sometimes I just would go a few days without pumping, and I saw a drastic change in my breast milk supply. It was so heartbreaking. I was like, oh my gosh, is my baby getting enough milk when I'm breastfeeding him? We're running out of milk, but when I pump, I don't get enough milk to even pour in a bag. So it was really kind of stressful, and I was trying not to, freak out about it, but it's really, really hard. Stress can just add on to make it difficult for your body to create the milk that it needs for your baby. So if you are experiencing something like that, or decreasing your milk supply, try not to stress out too much. I'm not gonna say don't stress at all, because honestly, I think that's impossible. You want your baby to be fed, you want to make enough milk, and sometimes it's just, sometimes it can cause anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I need to make enough milk. Why am I not making enough milk? Is my baby gaining weight? And through all of that, my baby continued to gain weight, so there was no change in his health or his weight gain, so I was very grateful for that. But I did decide that I would have to, figure out how to increase my milk supply, because we're running out of milk in the fridge. I'm not pumping enough to make the milk to put in the fridge. So yeah, so this is my experience, and here are some things that I did to help me increase my milk supply, and it is so much better now, and I am so grateful for that. So let's get started. So tip number 1, everyone says this in their videos, and please don't click off, but it's really important. Okay, be right back, you guys. So you probably know what tip that is, and of course it's to stay hydrated and drink lots of water. Now, not only do you have to drink water throughout the day, but I noticed that whenever I chug water before I pump, or chug water while I'm pumping, it increases the amount of milk that comes out significantly. Like, I can be sitting there and just be drip, drip, drip. And once I drink water, maybe like 5 minutes later, and I mean not like a sip of water, you gotta drink like a whole cup of water, something like this size, or even a bottle of water or something like that. And then like maybe 5 to 10 minutes later, I just see so much more milk expressing out of my breast. So that is a major tip. Drink lots of water before you nurse, after you nurse, while you're nursing. But especially if you're pumping and you feel like you're just not getting enough milk, I'll show you guys some pictures of what I was pumping. It was so depressing because I was pumping so much more than that previously. And then I went days, like, you guys, I went days just pumping like 3 times a day and only getting like 1 to 2 ounces in each breast. And it was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Like, am I ever going to increase my milk supply? Is this gonna work for me? I watched so many videos trying to figure out what to do. So just hang in there. If you're experiencing this, it's gonna happen. It might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, but you got this. So another thing that I tried out to help me increase my milk supply and to, you know, just keep that milk supply going is this organic mother's milk tea. I got this from Walmart. You can order it on Amazon. It's not really that expensive. So this tea has fennel and fenugreek in it, and they're supposed to be really helpful with lactation. It's not the best tasting tea, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I'm a tea drinker. Like, I can drink tea without sugar, honey, lemon. I could just drink it regular. But this tea, I cannot do that. It's not disgusting. It has a licorice taste, and I'm really not a fan of licorice. So I put honey in this every single time that I drink it. If I don't, I'm not gonna enjoy it. So now I can't say that this alone increased my milk supply because I was trying, you know, several different things, but it definitely helped. This is supposed to promote healthy lactation. So if you guys want to get your hands on this tea, I will leave a link down below. So the next thing is another one that a lot of people may know about, and that is eating oatmeal. If you're not an oatmeal person, then you can just skip this tip. But I personally love oatmeal. I eat oatmeal every single day. Just like the tea, it's supposed to help with healthy lactation, and it is supposed to also help you increase your milk supply. I don't know if I've ever really seen a huge difference, but I eat oatmeal every single day. So I don't know if there will be a difference because I've never tried not eating oatmeal. So oats are definitely good for lactation in general. Even if you don't have, you know, a decrease in your milk supply, you can just try eating oatmeal and every now and again just to, you know, promote healthy lactation and healthy milk supply. So like I said before, we were giving our baby 2 bottles a day. At that point, I'm just like, you know what, maybe 2 bottles is too much because I'm not pumping enough and I need to get this milk supply up like pronto. So we decided, I think I went maybe 3 days, no bottles at all. It was maybe 3 to 4 days. I can't remember exactly. But I just completely, you know, said no bottles right now. We're just gonna nurse so that my body can produce more and more. So the more often you nurse, of course, the more milk your body should produce. Sometimes there's different reasons why you're not producing enough milk, but if it's one of those supply and demand situations, then nursing more definitely helped me. I was at the point where I wasn't even getting engorged anymore, and being engorged is not a good thing, but I would feel my breasts and they would just feel empty, and I'm just like, is there even any milk in here? I just decided, you know, I'm just gonna nurse him all throughout the day and throughout the night. Whenever he wants, I'm just going to give it to him on demand. I usually time out his feedings, but for those 3 to 4 days, I was just like, look, you hungry? We gonna drink this milk. So another thing that I noticed, I just felt like at some point, as I told you guys, I was pumping and I was getting like 1 to 2 ounces or barely anything. At some point I'm like, is it the pump? Like, because I use the pump so many times and it never really gave me an issue. Maybe I thought maybe, you know, I had the wrong flange size, or I don't know what it was, but I was like, I'm gonna try my manual pump because I was using my double electric pump. So I was using this thing right here where you manually just sit there and just, and I was reluctant at first because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be forever. But and this is, don't judge me, it's a little dirty right now because I just used it, but I just wanted to show you guys. But listen, you guys, don't sleep on the manual pump because I feel like the suction was stronger and it was easier for me to get enough milk. Granted, I can only pump on 1 breast at a time, but the benefit of that was that I was able to fill this bottle, and this is 5 ounces, and that 5 ounce mark is about right here, but I'm able to fill it, so that's better than nothing. So I would just pump on 1 breast for like, I don't even know, maybe 20 minutes, and then pump on the other breast for about 20 minutes or less than that, and I was getting a good amount. I was filling up the bottle, and I was like, you know, maybe it's, I was like, this pump worked a little bit better than the electric pump, but the only downside is I can only do 1 breast at a time. So I just, you know, did half on left, half on the right. But you guys, if you don't have a manual pump and you think that you don't want one, then just give it a try. Just try it out. See if it pumps the milk out better than your electric pump. You never know, okay? Don't knock it till you try it. Another thing that helped me when I was pumping, as I said, it could be a struggle. And what I noticed was if I was to massage my breasts while I am pumping, I could see the milk expressing out even more. So that definitely helps. Massaging your breasts, you know, it could be, you know, annoying and tiring, but listen, okay, do what you gotta do. So especially if you're engorged and you have a lot of lumps, you want to loosen that up. So I just massage it, and that helped me a lot. So the next tip I have, if you are experiencing a decrease in your milk supply, would be to power pump. Power pumping is when you pump for 1 hour. Now you're not pumping a whole hour straight. I will put a little picture right here to give you an idea of how it works. So you pump for 20 minutes, and then you take a break for 10 minutes, and then you pump for 10 minutes again, and then you take a break for 10 minutes, and then the last time you pump for 10 minutes one more time, and that should equal 60 minutes if I'm doing my math correctly. But yeah, so you power pump, you just take 1 hour out of your day to power pump. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When you do this, sometimes it's not gonna work. You're gonna feel like it's not working, because I was doing this every day. I was like, okay, I'm a power pump today, 1 hour, let me just knock this out. And then I get like, again, 2 ounces, 1 ounce. The next day I get the same amount. The next day I might get the same amount, and then over time it started to increase. I just felt like consistency was key for this. You have to be consistent with pumping. If you take breaks from pumping, you're going to experience a decrease in your milk supply because you're not expressing milk as often as usual. So yeah, try out power pumping, see if it works for you. It worked for me. It definitely did not work overnight. For some people it works overnight, but for me, I'm gonna be real with you guys, it did not work overnight. It was something I had to do, and there were some days when I just didn't feel like doing it, and I might miss it. So again, every time you start something and then you stop again, you gotta start over from the beginning. So I would power pump like 3 days in a row, and then the next day I wouldn't do it, or 2 days in a row, and then the next day I wouldn't do it. So whenever I wasn't consistent with pumping, my breast milk supply wasn't consistent. So consistency is key when you want to increase your milk supply in terms of pumping. Pumping is not fun. I don't enjoy it. It's my least favorite thing to do, okay? But one thing I can tell you, if you have, I'm going to go back to this, if you have a manual pump and you don't want to just sit there just that can make it annoying. So what I do sometimes, if it's late at night, because I give my baby a bottle, 1 bottle a day now. We never went back to 2. Still 1 bottle a day. And I give it to him at night before he goes to bed, so I can know exactly how much he is drinking, because I don't want him waking up hungry. So what I do when I'm using this, if I'm watching a show at night, I'll just pump. And before I know it, I fill the whole bottle up, because I'm watching the show and I switch hands. It gets tiring, but when you are, occupying your time with something else, it's not that bad. So one tip that I have for breastfeeding and pumping and just in general is to use a nipple cream, a nipple butter, whatever it is. If you see my first time mom essentials video, you would see that I use nipple butter, organic nipple butter from Earth Mama. And I'm not as consistent as I should be with using my nipple butter, but I definitely see a difference if I go a couple days without using it. Let me tell y'all, I hope this is not TMI, but your nipples will get chapped, your nipples will crack, and just not look good at all. So with all the sucking from the baby and from the pump and the pulling at your nipples, it's gonna have some wear and tear on them. So just try to keep them moisturized with some type of butter, some type of cream, so that they're not all cracked and bleeding and looking crazy. So that is all the tips that I have from my experience with breastfeeding and with pumping and how I increased my milk supply. I will show you guys right here a before and after picture of how much milk I was pumping when I was experiencing a decrease in my milk supply and how much I was pumping after I finally got it to increase. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am grateful for each and every one of my subscribers. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.